The Golden State Warriors just signed a brand new center. So as you all know, the Warriors are looking to make some bigger offseason moves to get ready for next season, and they have signed a brand new center, and we're going to be going through who that exactly is and 4 other free agents that the Golden State Warriors are looking to sign to help them win another NBA championship. So make sure to like this video, and guys, 92% of you are still not subscribed to the channel, so it'd mean the world if you could subscribe to the channel, hit that red button down below. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than the man that got signed to a 10-day contract, which is Jace Johnson. Now, he actually did play for the Warriors G League team, where he put up some pretty good stats, averaging 8.6 points, 11.9 rebounds, and 1.6 assists. Now, if you look at his stats, you do see a lot of great things from this. You know, he may not get a lot of assists, but the fact that he can score at will and also rebound aggressively is definitely something this Golden State Warriors team need. As you all know, the Warriors were actually really poor and actually ranked in the bottom half when it came to rebounding last season, and now with the new additions of dario, saric, and all, they are looking to get a lot more big men in this team that can rebound and rebound well. I think Jace Johnson is a great fit due to the fact that he is 7 foot, guys, 245 pounds. He does play that center position very well, and he did a fantastic job averaging 11.9 rebounds for that G League team. When it comes to his game, I definitely do believe that he could use a lot more scoring potential when it comes to outside and also his mid-range, but he's able to finish really well around the ring, which is fantastic to see. He actually had an effective field goal percentage of 58%, which is great, and also had a great three-point shot if needed. So he may not be as consistent as dario saric when it comes to this, but I do believe as time goes on and getting used to the NBA system, he will be able to develop into something very special. Jace Johnson is still a very young guy. He was born in 1997, so just 25 years of age, or now turning 26, but he did attend Marquette, which is a great school, and he knows how to play at a high level. I think he definitely needs an opportunity to play in the NBA to really get a feel for what it's like, and I think having that guidance from the Warriors players and also playing with a lot of great players such as Steph, Clay, Chris Paul, now add that to the list, there is going to be a lot of great potential to come out of Jace Johnson, no doubt about it. The second big man that the Golden State Warriors could actually target is none other than Christian Wood. Now, when it comes to Christian Wood, he does play for the Dallas Mavericks, but it is still up in the air whether he will be re-signing with the Dallas Mavericks, as he is an unrestricted free agent with a bird contract. So when it comes to that contract, I do believe Wood has the possibility to actually be a part of the Warriors. Now, the Warriors would have to free up a little bit of cap space, but I think it is still definitely possible, or they could always just pay the luxury tax. Now, when it comes to the new GM for the Warriors, he has mentioned that he is looking to win championships now, and I feel that the luxury tax isn't going to be a problem for a team like the Golden State Warriors, who make a lot of money. They are willing to put the best team possible in order for giving them the best chance to win, as Steph Curry is still in his prime and also others as well. I think it is really important to state that as well, because when it comes to Christian Wood, he did a fantastic job for the Dallas Mavericks, where he averaged 16.6 points, 1.8 assists, and also 7.3 rebounds. Now, he wasn't getting used quite a lot in the playoffs, which I was very surprised about, but he is a fantastic scoring big man, and that is something the Golden State Warriors definitely need. Now, don't get me wrong, I think Kevon Looney and Draymond Green are great big men, but they both averaged under 10 points when it came to the season last season, and I do believe they could use a scoring big man, which they did get out of dario saric, but there's always a room to have more. As you all know, JaMychal Green is not a part of the Warriors team anymore as well, so they could use another player to add, especially another scoring big man, and Christian Wood can definitely be that guy. I think Wood would be okay coming off the bench, as he was coming off the bench for the Dallas Mavericks as well, so it doesn't seem that will be a problem in that sense. When it comes to his game, he's definitely an inside beast. He does have a pretty solid three-point shot at 37%, which I really like to see, and an effective field goal percentage of 59%. So he does a lot of the good things right, and I do believe when it comes to his defense, that is probably the most talked about thing about his game. I do believe he can become a great defender if given the right guidance, and having players like Draymond Green by your side and Kevon Looney, who are defensive juggernauts, can definitely help him develop into a great shot blocker and a shot defender. The third potential signing is none other than Blake Griffin. Now, Blake Griffin has been on the block as of lately when it comes to signing with a new team. No team has actually offered him a contract that he has accepted, and I think Blake Griffin would fit with what the Warriors are trying to do. Now, we may be getting not prime Blake Griffin from, the times in the Los Angeles Clippers, but I do believe Griffin can still provide a lot for a team, especially when it comes to playing with players that have already played for, such as Chris Paul. Now, when it comes to Blake Griffin, he did average 4.1 6.1 points, 3.8 rebounds, and 1.5 assists. Now, it wasn't too great of a performance when it came to last season, but you do have to remember he was only averaging around 11 minutes per game. So I think if Blake Griffin was given the right amount of minutes, he can definitely do a lot of great things. He's developed his three-point shot very well, where he actually shot last season 35% from the three, which is great. That's even better than some guards in the league. So I do believe Blake Griffin can still provide, a great 10 minutes off the bench, and I think that is something that the Warriors definitely need. Like I mentioned before, they did lose Michael Green, and I do believe Blake Griffin could also be another potential fit that could fit with what the Warriors are trying to do. They want a fast-paced team and a team that can shoot threes, and Blake Griffin definitely fills that bill. Now, when it comes to him playing with other players, Chris Paul, he already has great experience playing with him. I don't know whether there was full quarrels or anything like that when it came to playing with the Clippers, but I do believe they were a great duo together, and now to have them team up in the Warriors could honestly be magic for the two. When it comes to Blake Griffin as well, he does stand at 6'9", 250 pounds, and also is 34 years of age, so he is coming to those end of years when it comes to his peak, but he's still a big guy that the Warriors can definitely use due to the fact that the Warriors love to run small ball. When they do verse bigger teams like they've versed in the past, such as Los Angeles Lakers, where they lost in the playoffs, a big problem with that was that when they had Anthony Davis out there was really no one that could guard Anthony Davis very well, as they did always run a small type of lineup. So I think Blake Griffin really does add that extra edge, and if they need a tall player on top of him, Dario, Saric, and others, I think it could be a great fit for what the Warriors are trying to achieve, especially next season. The fourth player is none other than Taj Gibson. Now, as you all know, Taj Gibson has been a great player, and he most recently played for the Washington Wizards, where he averaged 3.4 points, 1.9 rebounds, and also 0.7 assists. Now, he wasn't putting up MVP type numbers, but he was only averaging 8 minutes per game, and I do believe Taj Gibson can still provide a lot for a team. Now, he is 6'9", 232 pounds, and he is 38 years of age, but when it comes to Taj Gibson, what I do love about his game is definitely his high IQ basketball, which could definitely help him and also the younger players with the team. Taj Gibson is definitely a veteran, but I think he can provide that veteran experience that he definitely needs to give to these young guys, especially with the Warriors trying to develop a lot of players such as Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga, just to name a few. Now, yes, they do have other players such as Chris Paul, who can be a great asset into teaching these young guys, but you do got to remember they are different positions. Kuminga is more of a small forward / power forward, and Chris Paul is more of a point guard. So having someone that can teach you how it's like to play a power forward position and do it at a very high rate, it definitely does show a lot of great things, and I think Taj Gibson can definitely provide that. Now, when it comes to Taj, what I do think he does very, very well is being a great defender. Now, he isn't the greatest scorer in that sense, but he still has a 33% three-point percentage, which I think is good, and a 55% effective field goal percentage, which is solid. So he isn't, terrible at scoring, but I do believe he still can do a lot, and if given the opportunity to score, he can definitely give you a bucket. So when it comes to all those different things, I think Taj Gibson can provide the intangibles that this team definitely needs. And yes, he may not be getting 15-20 minutes per game, but I do believe he can still provide a lot in other ways that could really help this Warriors, especially when it comes to playoff time. The fifth player is none other than Bismack Biyombo. Now, as you all know, Bismack Biyombo is only 30 years of age, and this may surprise to a lot of people. He's 6'8", 255 pounds, and he actually most recently played for the Phoenix Suns. Now, the Warriors could steal actually 3 Phoenix Suns players, which I think would be hilarious, but I do believe they are getting a lot of great picks from that Phoenix Suns team. Bismack Biyombo obviously averaged 4.3 points, 4.3 rebounds, and also 0.9 assists, which was great to see. He also did this in averaging only 13 minutes of game time. So now that Chris Paul's in the team, Dario Saric is already in the team, adding someone like Bismack Biyombo is honestly meshing the best of both worlds. Now, when it comes to Bismack, what I think he does very, very well is definitely being a great defender. I think there's something, a part of his game that has definitely shined throughout the years, and I do believe when it comes to what he's capable of doing on the defensive side of things, it really does help him in the long run and also pays dividends, especially when it comes to a team like the Warriors who are trying to get more defensive players. When it comes to his blocking, he actually averages 1.4 blocks in that last season, which was great to see. And guys, you do got to remember, he was doing that in only around 13 to 14 minutes per game. So he was doing that at a very high efficiency rate, and I do believe if given the right amount of minutes, he could be a shot blocking machine. On the defensive side of things, he is absolutely fantastic, and he is pretty good on offense when it comes to scoring around the ring. He averaged an effective field goal percentage of 58%, which which I think was really surprising to a lot of people. Now, he can definitely improve on his free throws, but I do believe it's something that could come in due time. But when it comes to Bismack, I think he can definitely provide a lot, and the fact that he is going to be playing with players that he's already played with before, such as Chris Paul, Dario, Saric, and most recently played with, I do believe they will be able to make it work, and that second unit can definitely be really dangerous. Bismack Biyombo at times when DeAndre Ayton was injured showed a lot of promise when it comes to what he's capable of doing. Like I mentioned, guys, Biyombo is only 30 years old, which surprises a lot of people, so he's definitely in those peak years, but still has that veteran experience that is definitely needed. So Bismack is honestly a great pick due to the fact that the Warriors wouldn't have to sign him for too much, and I do believe Bismack would be interested to teaming up with Chris Paul and Dario Saric once again.